The Saga of Ragnar Loðbrok, Chapter 5. It was during the summer that he turned his ships to Norway, because he had many kinsmen and friends there, and he wanted to visit them. He came in his ships during the evening into a little harbor. There was a farm a short distance from there, which was called Sprengerheid, and they laid there in the harbor at night. And when morning came, the cooks went to land to bake bread. They saw that a farm that was not far off, and it seemed to them that it would suit them better to go to the house and be there and do their work there. And when they came to this one little farm, they found someone to speak to. It was a poor woman, and they asked whether she was a housewife and what she was called. She said that she was a housewife, and you will not lack my name. I am called Grima, but who are you? They said they were liegemen of Ragnar Loðbrok, and they wanted to carry out their work, and we want that you should work with us. The poor woman answered that her hands were very stiff, but in the past I've been able to do my own work very well, but I have myself a daughter who can work with you and who will come home soon and is called Kraka. But it has now come about that I scarcely have control over her. And Kraka had gone out with the animals in the morning and had seen that many large ships had come to land. And then she went and washed herself, but the poor woman had forbidden her to do that, because she did not want the men to see her beauty, because she was the most beautiful of all women. And her hair was so long that it went down to the ground, and as beautiful as the most beautiful silk. And then Kraka came home, the cooks had started a fire, and Kraka saw that men were come there, whom she had not seen before. She looked at them, and they at her, and then they asked Grima, "Is this your daughter we see, this beautiful maiden?" "It is not a lie," said Grima. "That is my daughter you see." "You two must be very unalike," they said, "since you are so monstrous. We've not seen a girl as beautiful, and we see that she in no way has your looks, because you are most hideous." Grima said, "You can't notice it in me now. My appearance is now changed from how it was." Then they agreed that she would work with them, and she asked, "What shall I do?" They said they wanted her to roll out the bread, and they would afterwards bake it. And then she went to work, and she worked well. But they all kept looking at her constantly, so they did not mind their work, and the bread was burned. And after they finished their work, they went back to the ships, and there, when they brought out the meal, everyone said it was that they had never had anything as terrible, as the cooks deserved to be punished for it. Then Ragnar asked why they had done the cooking thus. He said that they had seen a woman so beautiful that they did not mind their work, and they thought that there was no more beautiful woman in the entire world. And when they had said so much of her beauty, then Ragnar spoke, and said that they thought that there could be no one equal to the beauty which Thora had possessed. They said she was no uglier. Then Ragnar spoke, "Now I must send men there, who know how to look well. And if it is thus as you have said, then your heedlessness will be forgiven of you. But if the woman is in any way uglier than you have said, then you shall take great punishment upon yourselves." And then he sent his men to this beautiful woman, but in the headwind was so strong that they could not leave that day. And Ragnar spoke with his messengers, "If this young maiden seems to you as beautiful as been told, tell her to come meet with me, as I want to speak with her. I want her to be mine. I want her to be neither dressed nor undressed, neither fed nor unfed, and moreover, she must not be all alone, but nevertheless no man may accompany her." And the men traveled until they came to the house, and they looked closely at Kraka, and it seemed to them they saw a beautiful woman that they thought they had never before seen one as beautiful. And then they told her the words of their lord Ragnar, and thus how she should be prepared. Kraka thought about it, and how the king had spoken, and how she should prepare herself. But Grima thought it could not be done, and said that she thought such a king would not be wise. Kraka said, "He must have spoken thus because it can be done, but if we have the skill to discover what he was thinking. However, I know that I cannot go with you today, but I will come early in the morning to your ship." Then they went away and told Ragnar what had happened, and that she would come to the meeting. And she was at home that night, and in the early morning Kraka told the poor man that she would go to meet with Ragnar. "But I want to alter my dress somewhat. You have a trout net, I want to wrap that around me, and I shall let my hair hang down over it, and I will thus be bare in no place. And I will taste of one leek, that is little food, but it will be known that I have eaten. And when I have your dog accompany me, I will thus not go all alone, even though no man accompanies me." And when the poor woman heard her plan, she thought she had great cunning. And when Kraka had made herself ready, she went on her way, until she came to the ship, and she was fair to see, as her hair was bright like gold. And then Ragnar called to her and asked who she was and whom she wanted to, and she answered and spoke this verse. I have not dared to violate your bidding, Ragnar, when you bade me come to your meeting, nor have I broken the king's order. No man is with myself, my flesh is not clearly revealed, I am quite fully a following, but I come all alone. He then sent men to meet her, and had them accompany her to the ship, but she said she did not wish to go unless a promise of peace might be given to her and her companion. Then she was led on to the king's ship, and when she came to the foredeck, he reached towards her, and a dog bit him on the hand. His men leapt at it and struck the dog and tied a bowstring around its neck, and it died from this. No better did those men hold with the promise of peace for her. Then Ragnar set her on the deck near himself and spoke with her, and she answered him well, and he was pleased and happy with her. He spoke this verse. If the precious lady was merciful to the ward of the fatherland, she might take me to stay in her arms. She said, if you will honor our treaty, king, you shall let me go, hence spotless to my home, though the helmsman has pain. And thus ends chapter 5.